The coffee cup slipped from Marcus Webb's hand, shattering across the marble floor of his penthouse office. His secretary rushed in, alarmed by the crash, but froze when she saw his face, drained of all color, eyes fixed on the computer screen before him. On that screen was a simple school registration form. Nothing unusual. For a billionaire who donated to countless educational institutions. Except this time his name wasn't listed as a benefactor. It was listed as father. Marcus's hands trembled as he scrolled through the attached document. Student name, Emma Grace Parker. Mother's name, Lily Parker. Father's name, Marcus Webb. Emergency contact, Marcus Webb. His phone number, his email address, everything meticulously. Filled out as if he'd been part of this child's life all along. The problem? He'd never heard of Emma Grace Parker, and he hadn't seen Lily Parker in 6 years. 6 years ago, Lily had been the keynote speaker at a charity gala Marcus hosted. She wasn't wealthy or famous, just a young social worker who'd built a community center in one of the city's most neglected neighborhoods, using nothing but determination and borrowed supplies. Marcus had been captivated not by her beauty, though she was lovely, but by the fire in her eyes when she spoke about the kids she served. In a room full of people who threw money at problems, she'd rolled up her sleeves and actually solved them. They'd spent that entire evening talking, then the next day having coffee, then dinner. Then 3 perfect weeks that felt like stepping into a different life, one where Marcus wasn't the ruthless CEO who'd built a tech empire by age 32, but just a man who'd found someone who saw past his bank account. Then Lily disappeared. No explanation, no goodbye, just a simple text. I'm sorry. This isn't going to work. Please don't contact me. And despite his resources, despite the investigators he could have hired, Marcus had respected her wishes. The ache of that loss had never quite healed. Now, staring at this registration form, Marcus's mind raced through impossible calculations. Could Emma be his daughter? The timeline would make her 5 years old. The math worked, but nothing else did. Lily wouldn't have kept something like that from him. Would she? His phone was in his hand before he'd consciously decided to call. The number on the form rang 3 times before a breathless voice answered. Hello? It was her. That voice he'd replayed in his memory 1,000 times. Lily, it's Marcus. Silence. Then barely a whisper. How did you get this number? You sent me Emma's school registration, with my name listed as her father. The sharp intake of breath told him everything. This was a mistake. But what kind of mistake? Oh, God! Oh, no! Marcus, I'm so sorry. I must have... She was panicking now, words tumbling over each other. I was filling out multiple forms. And I have this document template. And I must have accidentally sent you the wrong... Is she mine? The question cut through her rambling like a knife. Another silence. Longer this time. When Lily spoke again, her voice was steady but sad. No, Marcus. Emma isn't your daughter. I promise you that. Something in her tone made him believe her, but it didn't answer the bigger question. Then why is my name on a template form for your daughter's school registration? He heard movement on her end, a door closing, creating privacy. When Lily spoke again, her words came slowly, carefully. Because you're the only man who ever showed Emma's father what it means to be good. Marcus sat down heavily in his chair. I don't understand. Do you remember that night at the gala when I talked about the community center? Lily asked. About the kids we serve? Of course. One of those kids was Jake, 23 years old, aged out of foster care, trying to raise his baby sister while working 2 jobs. He volunteered at the center because we gave him a safe place to be when everything else in his life was chaos. Her voice grew thick with emotion. You talked to him that night. Do you remember? You spent 20 minutes asking about his sister, about his dreams, about what he needed. And the next week, you set up a trust fund for his sister's education. You hired him for your company's apprenticeship program. You changed his entire life, and you never asked for credit or recognition. Marcus did remember Jake, a young man with tired eyes and calloused hands who'd spoken about his sister with such fierce, protective love that it reminded Marcus of why he'd started his charity foundation in the first place. Jake is Emma's father, Lily continued. Or he was. He died 8 months ago. Sudden aneurysm. He was 28 years old. The grief in her voice hit Marcus like a physical blow. "I'm so sorry, Lily. He married my best friend, Sarah. They were so happy, Marcus. And it was because you gave Jake the chance to build a life instead of just survive one. You showed him what kind of man he could be. Generous, thoughtful, present. He became the most wonderful father to Emma." She was crying now, trying to keep her voice level. "When Sarah died in childbirth, Jake raised Emma alone. He was incredible, and he always said he learned how to be a good man by watching you, by seeing that someone successful could also be kind." Marcus felt his own eyes burning. "And now? Now Emma has no one but me. I'm her godmother, and I've been trying to navigate the guardianship process in school. Registrations and everything a 5-year-old needs. And her voice broke. "I made this stupid template because I keep having to fill out forms, asking for father's information, and I don't know what to put. Emma keeps asking why she doesn't have a daddy anymore. And in a moment of exhaustion and grief, I put your name in the template because you're the example of fatherhood that Jake always aspired to. You're the ghost of the father she lost. I never meant to send it to you. I'm so sorry." Marcus stood up, grabbed his coat. "What school?" "What? What school is the registration for?" "Marcus, you don't have to." "Lily, I'm asking what school needs this registration form." She gave him the address, her voice uncertain. Marcus was already heading for the elevator. He found Lily sitting on a bench outside Riverside Elementary, a little girl with dark curls playing on the nearby swings. When she saw him approaching, Lily stood, her expression wary. "You came. You said Emma asks about her father." Lily nodded, glancing at the girl who was now hanging upside down from the monkey bars, giggling at the world turned topsy-turvy. "Jake used to do that with her every day after work," Lily said softly. "She's trying to remember him in every little thing." Marcus watched the child, Emma, and saw the determined set of her jaw, the fearless way she tackled the playground. "You said I showed Jake what it meant to be good." "That's not true. I just saw someone who deserved a chance and gave it to him. Jake did the rest. He chose kindness. He chose to show up. That was all him. But you planted the seed." Marcus turned to Lily, finally seeing the exhaustion in her eyes, the weight she'd been carrying. "Let me help. Not because I'm listed on a form by mistake, but because Jake mattered. Because Emma matters. Because you matter. Marcus, I can't ask you to—" "You're not asking. I'm offering." He pulled out his phone. "I have a whole legal team that can help expedite the guardianship process. I have connections with child psychologists who specialize in grief counseling. I have resources that could make your life easier, so you can focus on being there for Emma, emotionally." He met her eyes. "And if you'll let me, I'd like to be someone Emma can count on too. Not as a replacement for Jake. No one could ever replace what he was to her. But as someone who honors his memory by showing up." Tears streamed down Lily's face. "Why would you do this?" "Because 6 years ago, I met someone who taught me that real wealth isn't measured in dollars, but in the lives we touch. Someone who chose to serve others instead of herself. Every single day." He smiled sadly. "And because I never forgot her, even when she walked away." Lily wiped her eyes. "I left because I was afraid. You were this powerful man, and I was just—" "You were never just anything, Lily. You were extraordinary. You still are." From the playground, Emma called out, "Lily, push me on the swings!" "Coming, sweetie," Lily called back, then looked at Marcus. "Do you want to meet her?" His heart hammered in his chest. This wasn't what he'd expected when he woke up this morning. But standing here, watching a little girl who'd lost everything still find joy in a playground swing, he realized this was exactly what he needed. "I'd be honored." As they walked toward Emma, Marcus understood something profound. Sometimes the greatest gifts come wrapped in mistakes. Sometimes a wrong email address leads to exactly the right place. And sometimes being named as a father by accident is the universe's way of offering you the chance to choose fatherhood deliberately. Not through biology, but through showing up, staying present, and proving that family is built on love, not just blood. Emma looked up at him with curious eyes. Jake's eyes he somehow knew, and smiled. "Are you Lily's friend?" Marcus knelt down to her level, returning her smile. "I am, and I hope I can be your friend too." She studied him for a moment with the serious consideration only children possess. then held out her small hand. "Okay, friends push friends on swings. That's the rule." As Marcus pushed Emma higher and higher, her delighted laughter ringing across the playground, he caught Lily's eye. She was crying again, but smiling too. And in that moment, Marcus knew that the registration form hadn't been a mistake at all. It had been a beginning.